Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Neon Shadows actual play. I'm super excited. We're going to be doing from the ground up of how to go about playing Neon Shadows, how to world build characters, and then eventually get into play. And we're super excited. I'm Squidsy with Lost Guide Games, one of the writers here for Neon Shadows. And if we can just go around and introduce, we can go counterclockwise to where we're at on the cards.
It'll be me next then. Hello, everybody. My name is Grimm. I'm another writer at Lost Guide Games. I'm also one of the main mechanics gremlins. Super excited to be here and show off all the hard work we put into this.
Mimi?
Hi, I'm Mimi. I am still pretty new to Lost Guy Games, but I do a lot of art and graphics and stuff. But I'm super excited to play this with you guys, and I hope everybody has a great time.
Hi, I'm Craig. I consider myself very fortunate that the Lost Guide Games folks have invited me to take part in this actual play. I am uh, very excited.
Hello, everybody. My name is Leah. I am the Dungeon Master and producer of Slay the Stars, and I am super excited to be a part of this Neon Shadows playtest.
Hi there, I am Joe. I am with Lost Guide Games. I did not have much to do with the creation of Neon Shadows at all, but I was there as emotional support. And now I am here to help our team show off our new game.
Perfect. All right, so we're going to kind of go in the order of what the book will look like. And we're actually going to start with world building first so we can understand where we're going to be at for our characters. So the way world building is we are going to go through each of the districts. Do y'all want to do Sun Courts down to the Outlands or Outlands up to the Sun Courts?
I'm good either way.
I say start from the top down and work your way. Start from the top and work your way down.
Perfect. Then
I like that.
Perfect. Then we're going to start with the Sun Courts. And what we're going to do is we're going to fill in all of the district details. And so.
Do we want to explain any of the actual world before we start building the districts?
Sure. If you want to do that.
Sure. So Neon Shadows takes place in a world where there was a global war about 20 years ago that decimated the majority of livable land. The setting for the game itself, where our characters are going to be placed, is going to be the city in the valley. As far as the characters know, the last hospitable place, period. What we're going to do now is kind of just starting from the top and working our way in. Just design the characters start with the Sun Court for the world. One of the big things for this is as we go, since we're starting at the top and working our way down, it's kind of going from the elites to those who don't have a lot of social power. One of the big things to keep in mind for this is there's a lot of choice and decision and customization through this process. So just because we're building it this way doesn't mean you guys have to build yours the same way.
All right. So. Opening up the thing, going into world building. So let's start with the Sun Courts. How do we want the people to be?
Arrogant.
I mean, yeah.
Okay. 3 more. Or no. Yeah, 3 more.
Also, okay, I know we need a one-word phrase, but I like this idea that they're that you like, yes, they're arrogant, but also that there's this air of like they think that they deserve this. You know what I mean? Like
Like
like they've been
superiority.
appointed. Yeah, like there's that the
Entitled.
air of entitled, that
Entitlement.
superiority. Yeah. Like they believe that they're in their position because they are the better of the society.
I do like that. So that would be like
Yeah.
entitled.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So we have arrogant, entitled.
Upper class, like they're, I guess that would kind of fall in line with the type of arrogance and entitlement that we're thinking about. Um,
Vain.
what was that? I'm so sorry. One more time.
Vain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Balenciaga. I'm sorry.
I also like the idea that they're blind. They don't know a life outside of.
I was thinking that they're ignorant.
Yeah.
Like
The
they don't realize just how bad it is below them for some
Oh,
people.
and they don't realize how bad it is inside either.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, on some level, I think they don't care either, because to them, if you are lesser, it's because you deserve less.
Mhm.
Bastards.
And that kind of falls into that like vain and arrogance. So we have vain, we have arrogant, we have, oh my god, I've lost the word, entitled, and blind. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's our 4 for the people. We need 3 rumors. And you can find like a little helpful list in the book. Write up.
What's our governmental structure up here?
They
Uh,
go ahead.
right. Well, that's also one of the big things. Since you brought that up, it kind of depends on how we want to have that structure work. Do we
Yeah.
want to have it as a monarchy? Do we want to have it as a council of individuals? Do we want to have it as a supposed to be in big quotes republic? It's kind of up to us on how that runs.
Which is why I'm asking.
I've always been a fan of these supposed republics that are supposed to be, voted on and fair, like the US, where we gerrymander districts and stuff so that the rich people with all the land might have one representative for 6 people, but then we have 600 poor people crammed into an apartment complex that also have one representative, representative democracy, things like that.
That sounds a lot like oligarchy.
Yeah.
It
That's
is.
that's what it is.
It's very oligarchy. And when you look at the history of the city of the valley, where the sun courts are was actually given to the lawmakers. It's the lawmakers' land. So an oligarchy works really well.
Bastards.
So, rumors for the sun courts. What rumors are spreading around the sun courts?
Maybe there are some uprisings in the outlands, like maybe people who are on the outskirts of, who they would consider the dregs are thinking about some sort of rebellion or uprising against the Sun Courts. So maybe they're a little bit paranoid.
Yeah, that there's an uprising in the Rust.
There's rumor that someone found another valley.
I was just thinking that. I love it.
What would would be the significance of that?
You mean of more hospitable land?
Oh, yes. Okay. Well, when you put it that way.
I also like the idea that within the elites in the Sun Court, there are rumors about secret societies that are all jockeying for power. And so maybe one
You
of
mean the
those.
social club that's where everyone meets on Tuesdays?
Sure, yes. Stuff like that. But even like, you know, there are some that are like Skull and Bones Society-esque, although that is real. So
Right.
but you know what I mean, like these societies that even societies don't believe exist.
Kind of like cults almost.
Yeah, like little culty offshoots. And
Like the
maybe
Illuminati.
yes, maybe a suspected Illuminati basically person has recently come into power, and is starting to make waves.
Oh, like Charles
Like
Manson
that.
for president type shit.
Yes,
Yeah.
like that.
All right. So we have our 3 rumors.
What's sad is Manson would probably win in the current election for something. That's terrifying.
Listen, for the memes, people would vote, and it would be scary.
Now we need 2 conflicts. What are 2 conflicts that are happening amongst the people in the Sun Courts?
There's a growing movement in the younger members of the Sun Court uh, for distribution of rights to the lower classes. That is kind of unsettling the perfect veneer on the outside of Sun Court solidarity.
Not bad.
I like it. I think one of the conflicts is that they believe that the artisans of Forger's Alley should not have access to the blueprints of the weapons that they build.
Oh, I
Ooh,
dig
I like
that.
that. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have our 2 conflicts, and we need 1 overall belief. With the arrogance and... Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, how about of like widespread belief in the Sun Court that the success or failure of the entire city in the valley depends on the Sun Court remaining in its high standing with its wealth and everything.
I was actually going to say the same thing along the lines of like, without their leadership, the city would fall.
There we go. Yeah.
Beautiful.
All right. Well, we've built out the Sun Courts, except for some key landmarks. What are some key landmarks that we want so we can ruin this beautiful map that Fatalini drew for us?
The
How about
Justice
a
Building.
giant? Yeah, I was just about to say like a giant mansion or some sort of like big governmental facility.
Okay.
The Meridian Manor.
The Meridian. We can do the Meridian Manor. Y'all can draw an owl bear.
It's Meridian. Is that copyrighted?
No, Meridian is the term for midday.
Where do we want the Meridian Manor?
Like right smack dab in the middle of the Sun Courts.
Like overarching
this-
the river?
Yeah, it's like a big gleaming freaking, supposed to be to them like a representation of all that they are.
figure out how to draw this on here. We just do this. We will just do this. There. Okay. And we can add landmarks as we go. We don't have to have all these landmarks. We can just have a few to kind of get us started on where everybody is.
How about a magical tree, like a big giant?
Could be that it grows and the flowers bloom like they're powered by aether.
Yeah.
Yeah. The last tree.
The last tree.
Is this some Lorax stuff?
Where do we want it?
How about between? How about on the river? Maybe between the sun courts and the moonlight.
Okay.
It could be that maybe the moonlights want at some point to have claim over it. It could be a territorial thing too.
I like it.
Does it bear fruit?
Tree.
It could.
Some sort of magical fruit.
If it bears fruit, then there's like a yearly festival around the time that it blooms.
Thank
We
you.
could do that.
Yeah. It could also be a source of the wealth for the sun courts too. Or power or however.
I feel like that's very much a Moonlight thing, which is great because that's what we're getting into next.
Right.
I feel like that's very much a Moonlight thing.
So we'll save it and just bring it up when we get to the moonlights, which is now.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What if it only bloomed at night?
There are definitely plants that do that.
When it was
I like it.
moon. When the moon was out. And
Yeah,
it pisses the sun courts off.
it does because it refuses to acknowledge the power of the sun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. We need to figure out the people of the moonlights as well, but we now have a rumor that the tree our
The tree
moon
the tree backs us. The tree says we should be in charge.
the tree says we should be in charge. Okay. So the people. What do y'all think the people of the moonlights are like?
So I imagine they're I imagine they're also wealthy and powerful, like the Sun Courts. But I would assume that they would be sort of the polar opposites. They would be like the philanthropers, the philanthropists, and the ones that actually care. Maybe not
Quote unquote.
incredibly
care.
much, but yeah, they're the
Quote
ones that
unquote.
they play to the man of the people stereotype in their
Yeah.
dealings or whatever.
But I
If
also
that's-
picture it. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mimi.
I was gonna say because it could also be that they're very similar to the sun courts in very different ways. Like they're still vain and arrogant and ignorant, but in a very different, maybe opposite way. So it kind of meets in the middle of them being opposite of the sun courts, but they still sort of have their what is it? They're sort of trapped still in their own cultures and mindsets and ways.
Yeah, I like the idea that some of their like they do feel that way. They feel sort of entitled, but they're also more ambitious, right? They're trying to climb to that level of the sun courts and maybe sort of exceed them, but they have to be smart and cunning about it, and they know to play to the strengths of the lower, I don't know, lower castes, lower class systems to try to gain that power. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
to read
Machiavellian.
to read
Mhm.
from the lore, because I've got that up. This is the place where the empire is remembered for its beauty and grace, the scholar's ground. Because
Thinking
you're Aether
Machiavellian.
Weavers.
The
Yeah.
people of the Moonlights may feel like they can achieve the same level as the Sun Courts, but through their own ingenuity and their own merit, rather than
Right.
Sun
Yeah.
Courts believe that
Inherited power.
every power they have is because they deserve it and because it's right. So the people in the Moonlights think, well, we can achieve that through our own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like where the Sun Courts use their, their wealth and their overall like their just strength and power and everything, the Moonlights could be, where they use knowledge and um more anthropological approach.
I think that knowledge sometimes can make them cold.
Yeah,
Yes.
that would
Definitely
make sense.
logics and facts before emotions.
Yeah. I'm imagining it's a very Machiavellian culture. It's very, you do what you do to get what you want. But
I,
you can't get caught. You do it smartly.
so calculating.
Correct.
We have achieving. I think I heard somebody say high achieving. Ambitious. That was the word I heard.
Ambitious.
Ambitious was the word I heard. So I've heard calculating, ambitious. I mentioned cold.
Yep.
Anything else? One more good word for it.
Statistic. No
Driven.
kidding.
Driven. But driven's ambitious.
Yeah.
Cultured?
I like cultured.
I do too.
I like cultured. Okay. So the rumors. We have this tree.
Well, the tree says we should be in charge.
Okay, but are we gonna be like the tree says we oh God. The tree
Go-
says we're in charge, like in a mocking kind of haha it only blooms at night way, or in a we actually hear it speak to us kind of a way.
I think the first one,
Um,
if they're supposed to be like logical and smart stuff, be the first
So,
one.
maybe
so
it used to be part of their territory, and they maybe drew power or whatever it is from it before the Sun Courts decided to say, "Oh, this is ours now."
it could have been originally a moon court item before it got taken.
Like they brought it in from the Empire before the war.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And the Sun Courts just shifted the boundary so they would claim the tree.
I like it being on the border because I feel like that. Yeah, but they also know who the people are that help run the tech and power the city.
Right.
Mhm.
But that's why they didn't put so far into their border. But it's on the border, but it's distinctly on the Sun Court side of the border. That's
Mm-hmm.
why it's a Sun Court landmark. But for the Moonlights, for them it's also that is ours. That is our proof of where we come from. And those bastards took it from us.
Yeah, I like that. I also think a good rumor with the tree. I think, and this is going to go into kind of the landmarks too. Um, is that there's something in the Aether minds that are starting to change people. Something's making them
Different.
different.
Okay. I like it. So is that a rumor or is that a conflict?
It's a rumor.
Okay.
And there's actually one more rumor that I'm looking at and reading, but I have meta knowledge, and so that's not fair, but it works really well.
I mean, okay, you can't really have meta knowledge of this. We don't know what we're doing for the story.
That's fair. We don't know what we're doing for the story. I just know characters, because we've all talked about our characters.
So we still have a rumor. We still need a rumor for the Moonlights.
Yes.
Yes, we need a rumor for the Moonlight.
One more.
So somebody is hanging around the edge of the tree or the base of the tree and claims that the tree is speaking to them, a la a deity.
Would that be a conflict, or would that be a rumor?
Well, nobody knows if. I guess it's nobody can corroborate it yet. So that's why I feel like it's more rumor than conflict.
Perfect.
That's all we need.
That's why I was asking. And now we need 2 conflicts.
I think one of them is that the workers of Forger's Alley are trying to unionize, which is cutting into production.
Okay. I like it. People are starting to feel overworked. Kind of thing.
Yep.
Cool. One more conflict.
Maybe the maybe there's some sort of conflict between the Moonlights and the Sun Courts that is affecting commerce in the other regions.
Trade war is a thing. Trade war is a thing.
Trade war is a thing.
Which could also feed into like the rumors of uprisings in other areas or
Yep. That makes sense. Because the Sun Court gets most of its information filtered through the Moonlights. So if there's a conflict economically within the Moon Courts, the Sun Courts could see that as issues all the way down. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I like it. All right, then we need one overarching belief.
The Moonlights will be here after the people of the Sun Courts are died.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, and then we need landmarks. Just a couple.
How about a university?
I like
Okay.
that.
So,
The Aether College.
yeah. Where do we want it? Y'all have a laser pointer, by the way.
We do.
Yeah, but it's in my drawer and I don't feel like getting up right now.
Over here.
I like it. Okay.
Kind of like right where this river is splitting off almost. So, yeah, right there.
Perfect. Okay. Let me zoom in a little bit. That was too far. Too far. There we go. I was like, why? What is happening? Okay. So right about... Pen, please. Thank you. Right about here. I can't draw worth anything on a mouse. There we go. This is why I'm not the artist. All right. So, what else? Are there any other landmarks?
Clockwork Zoo.
Where do we want it?
Closer to Forger's Alley.
That's what I'm thinking. Or yeah, you know,
The cloud
close to
tops.
the
That would be
tops,
closer
yeah.
to... Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
I think maybe down here, right where the first curve in the bend is, coming up from the cloud tops, or coming down through the cloud tops. This first curve.
Right there?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
The Moonlight's giving those middle class people a good place to come spend their money.
It's just going to be zoomed in now. Is that it for now?
I think we can put more in later.
Okay. So now the cloud tops. Speaking of our middle of the road, this is. Give me 1 second and I'll just go ahead and read from the lore in the book just a little bit. This was the place that Theocracy had set its care, allowing the teachings of Celeria to reach all of the people in the city, the Zealots' ground. So what are the people in the cloud tops like?
Idealistic.
I like it.
Familial.
Familial, idealistic,
Complacent.
complacent,
Hardworking.
hardworking. Perfect. Beautiful. 3 rumors.
Everything's fine.
Uh,
That's not. Well, I guess that would be a rumor. I was like, that's not really a rumor, but I guess that would be a rumor.
No. In all seriousness, I'm trying to give a way to put in my head. So long as we keep to our own, nothing bad will happen.
And
Okay.
that could also go into everything's fine because if they want to stay out of conflicts and stuff.
Right. No, I was saying the everything's fine as a joke. A better way of saying it is, if we keep to our own, if we only worry about cloud top issues, nothing bad will happen to us.
I'm gonna throw in
That
something.
could,
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Mimi.
sorry, I was gonna say that could also fall under an overarching belief too. For them.
Complacency.
That sounds more like their belief than a rumor.
That does sound more like a belief.
Yeah. No, I believe that. We can put that in for the belief then.
Well, put that one in for the belief. So we still need 3 rumors. I'm gonna throw in something weird, just because I like to.
I like weird.
We know you like weird, Grimm. Okay, hi. So I'm Squidsy. I am the voice of Aspen, one of our Type 2s, and I wanted to take a moment and introduce one of our very good friends and what they are doing for their Kickstarter. FighterGuyStudios is doing a Kickstarter for stickers for Pathfinder and D&D, but I will just let the video speak for itself. You can find his Kickstarter in the description below. Late at night, soft music can be heard playing through the alleys of the cloud tops, and nobody can find where it's coming from.
Nice.
I like it.
I love it.
So we need 2 more.
Kind of like some sort of Pied Piper almost.
Almost, but nobody can find him. Them, her.
It. They.
So we need 2 more.
There is a concern about food availability. People have started to say, "Oh, well, I went into the shop and I couldn't get my hands on bread."
Oh no. Too
like-
close to home.
We got real close to home for a lot of these.
Yeah.
I like it. Stock
I mean,
is
it
becoming.
seems almost like the cloud tops are like the bread bat. I mean, I know we haven't gotten further down, but it seems
So
almost like
the rust rivers are where the farming happens. Actual food production is farther down.
Yep, that's where your farmers are. And then forgers would be your butchers. Um,
So your forgers is your raw refinery, your less skilled labor working is mostly done through forgers.
and then cloud tops is more packaging with your hospitals and your basic education needs, things like that.
Yeah.
But I do like that they're not able to get stock of certain things.
Right. I like that too.
I do like that. How can we turn that into a rumor?
So I think it would be interesting if there are competing rumors here, and the people of the cloud tops aren't sure which, right? So there are rumors coming up from the bottom that food shortages are being caused by poor policies and planning by the people at the top, and the people at the top are planning rumors that it's this, nonsense of the uprising and people aren't working, and that's
Yeah.
why there's food shortage
Yeah. I like that. I
issues,
like
right?
that.
And so I like the idea. Yeah, I like the idea that cloud tops are not really sure who to trust in this, and that's another reason why they've become so like we're just going to focus on ourselves
The
because
cloud
we don't
tops
know
are
who to
like,
trust.
we're here for you. Just the people in the rest are quiet quitting. I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
Yeah,
Nobody wants to work anymore.
yeah. It's just nobody wants to work anymore.
Back in my day, college cost me a nickel a credit hour.
But I do like that, and that kind of knocks out a couple of rumors, right? Because you've got one coming from the top and then one coming from the bottom, and then this weird one that the cloud tops are dealing with going, okay, yes, I know, it sucks right now, but also, where's that music coming from?
Right.
But also, we're haunted.
It's the tree, it's the tree's fault.
Exactly.
So we need two conflicts.
People have been disappearing, and there's a widespread belief in the cloud tops that somebody in Forger's Alley is responsible.
Okay, so wording that as a conflict, like Forger's Alley can't be trusted.
Yeah,
Right.
maybe. I don't know. It was my idea for a rumor, but then we had a twofer, so.
No, I like it. I like that this Forger's Alley can't be trusted. Because it also goes along with the rumor of...
Or people are going to Forger's Alley and not coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
All right. And one more conflict. I think that there's a conflict in the Sun Courts of there are some people who, aren't content with the way the city works, especially as you get into your younger generations, but the conflict is we should just work harder to become like the Sun Courts.
Right. I like that. I like that.
The boxer mentality.
Yep.
And then we have the belief of
So long as we focus on ourselves, everything will be okay.
beautiful. And then just couple of landmarks.
What about a market? Like a nice big sort of market of like goods and produce and stuff. It could be sort of a trade central, but with the issue about availability for food, that could maybe play into that a little bit.
Okay.
I like that.
I like that. I almost think it should sit right in here. Almost like a river market. So Forger's Alley can bring their goods as well.
I
A
agree.
museum of pre-war artifacts.
In a museum. Okay, let me... Little squares. Little squares, little triangles for a market. I can hear our cartographer screaming. And that'll actually add a landmark in
Thinking over
Forger's
here
Alley
for
as
the
well. For the museum?
yeah, I'm thinking up here for the museum.
Yeah, I like it. Let me. Just a big, weird rectangle
Wow.
building.
Yeah.
Beautiful. That's our cloud tops.
This
So
be a
now.
bad time to mention I'm just sitting here with a stylus in my hand.
Oh my goodness. Okay,
Funny shit.
so
Forger's Alley.
Forge's Alley. This area is given into respect for those who are a part of the oligarchy and the war, the reformers' ground. These are like your tradesmen, your like we talked about up top, the people who make the weapons. They bring down the blueprints, and Forger's Alley blacksmiths and engineers, not engineers, but mechanics the weapons to be
Yeah.
sent back up to the moonlights for engineered.
Yeah. Competent.
Confident?
Competent.
Competent. Okay.
Party.
Hardy.
Workaholic.
Workaholic.
Dwarves.
What?
Dwarves. Competent, short, competent, hardy, work-minded. The
Oh!
dwarves.
I also think they're calloused.
Yes, very much so. I was going to say tired, but callous is much better.
Just
Yeah.
calloused.
Ingenious.
Ingenious.
Not, I mean, like I was thinking a descriptive word. Ingenuity is better, but
I like
They
it.
also, oops, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
And I was just going to say, for them, I picture this, like, well, at least we're not in the rust. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Right. It could be worse.
it could be worse. That's them. That should be their motto. It could be worse.
It could
That's
be
the
worse.
belief. That's the
know.
overall belief of
Right.
Forger's Alley.
It is.
I
It could be worse. We could be out in the river.
I kind of imagine that they're more or less on the same level. Like you just have two sides of the coin. There's the builders and
they're
the
on the face
farmers.
they're on the face of the coin that's further towards the sun. So that's all that they care about.
But it's like the difference between someone who slaves away for minimum wage in the city or someone who busts their ass out in the royal area for the same crappy living.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
if you live in the city, you can say you're from the city and you're cultured.
Yeah, but like so this is as a real world, not to get too real again, but I picture this as the working class, but like these are like manual laborers, people out there doing hard stuff like butchering and things like
Blue
that.
collar.
Yeah, blue collar, breaking their backs every day. And the people of the Sun Courts have convinced them that like the Rust Rivers are just out here like trying to take from them and stuff just to keep them like you're working so hard, you're like one step up on the other guys, you know.
I like to think that that's a conflict, that it doesn't always work because they're
Yeah.
so close to the rust and have trade with the rust. They bring in the raw wheat, the carcasses, and things like that. So I think a lot of it. Ooh, what if we split it? That would be neat.
Like
What
young
if we
adults from the Rust go to Forger's Alley when they want to hit up a bar.
We split
Yeah.
it here. Those
Speculation.
closer to the cloud tops maybe have that belief and kind of go, maybe they're kind of right. But those that are closer to the rust on the lower half are going, I don't know about that, guys.
Well, it
Yeah.
could be if they're below this river bend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is really that cutoff point. Just because the power of indoctrination coming from the Sun Courts all the way down to them, there's so much inertia behind that.
Yeah.
That's why I picture the cloud tops as less of like a big like group of like-minded people and more like a real life middle class. Where you have the
Yeah.
upper middle class people that are like, yeah, everything's great. You people are just lazy. And then you have the lower middle class people who are like, hey, I worked my ass off to get here. I know it sucks, but I'm good now, so sorry about it. Um,
Yeah,
Well,
I like the idea that a lot of these political conflicts actually play out like within that bottom rung of Forger's Alley, right? Because you have the people coming up from the bottom from the rust saying like everything's terrible, like we need help, and then you have the inertia, like Grimm was saying, of the people coming down from the top saying like you just need to work harder, and like those people are wrong, and so a lot of this like these sparks fly in Forger's Alley.
It's like a
Yeah.
Northern Ireland situation.
it is.
oh God,
I like
It
that.
is.
So we
I'm
can.
just saying, like this society has layers, but I feel like each of those
It's an
layers has
onion.
layers. It's an ogre.
It's
You-
an
It's an
ogre.
ogre.
Right.
So okay. So within this whole wonderful thing that we've talked about, the rumors. Because we have a conflict, we've got the belief, got a couple of conflicts. Um,
There are whisperings that it's necessary to initiate some sort of grand gesture in order to demonstrate to the Moonlights and the Sun Courts just how important Forger's Alley is to the city.
I like it. I like it. Nobody knows what it is, and it's just a rumor
Right.
that maybe it'll
no one knows.
work.
Right.
I like it. Okay.
The councilman, the representative of the Sun Courts in the for the Rusts, has been seen slumming it.
Okay.
I don't know. Every other rumor so far has been like there hasn't been anything gossipy. I feel like people are gossipy.
Well, more are gonna build as we
Yes.
play. Realize that.
Saw
Right.
Representative Childers walking out of that nightclub over there with some chick. Nah, that can't be true.
To go along the lines of people the rumor from the cloud tops of people disappearing in Forger's Alley.
Because these are the kind of big sweeping rumors that would get our characters' attention. So what we're really doing at this point in the stage is planting seeds for us if we come across them in play. Just if we don't have a direction and we come across the rumor, it's something for us to pursue.
Yeah,
But
Makes
something
sense.
to play off of Craig's people disappearing from the cloud tops. They're like going to Forger's Alley and never being seen again. Again, I'm gonna throw in weird. Some of the children have been replaced with something that's not quite human.
Aether automatons.
That people are being replaced, and we can just do people in general. People are being
Yeah.
replaced with something that's not quite human.
I love that. So good.
So our conflicts, we have the conflict of Forger's Alley. Forger's Alley in itself is a conflict.
Right. And it could be that one of those conflicts is just, it's propaganda versus propaganda.
Exactly. Well, or propaganda versus fact, like what you actually
Yeah.
see and experience. Propaganda versus
Yeah.
fact.
Conflict is the propaganda of the courts doesn't match up with the reality of the rivers.
Exactly. So do we want one more conflict on top of that?
We could.
Well, we could throw in a conflict that goes with it to go based off the unions we were talking about. One of the conflicts that just adds to it is that the unions aren't going to work if you continue to believe the propaganda.
Are we all out of rumors? Have we done our three?
I believe so.
Okay.
Is
That's
there
all
one
on
you
it.
wanted to add?
No, I was just thinking, the talk of union, whatever makes me think of. I just got finished watching The Untouchables the other day, and thinking about prohibition in the 1920s and the rise of organized crime, the mafia, et cetera, et cetera. And I almost feel like with unions being a relatively new thing and the unions protecting their members, it almost could be seen by some as that they're basically turning their labor movements into almost like into violence, into kind of a militaristic movement. So people aren't really people the popular opinion is not set yet as to whether or not unions are truly beneficial or if they're just a way to turn thugs legitimate.
We could turn that into a conflict. Because that
And
honestly kind of goes along.
we have enough conflicts for.
Well, no, because that was what I was going to say as the second conflict was pretty much what Craig said, but
Right.
he put it way better.
That's true. That works.
That's what I was saying. There was way more cohesion to what was just said. And then we have the overall belief. It could be worse.
We could have to muck stables.
Right.
All right. We have part of a landmark because we've got the markets. What other landmarks do we want?
I had suggested a botanical garden back for the cloud tops, and I think that got
Oh, I didn't hear that.
That got lost.
So we will put. Where do we want the botanical gardens for the cloud tops?
You mean for Fortress Alley? Oh, I mean, if you want
Fortress
to,
Valley.
Oh,
I mean,
we
we
can.
can put it.
it doesn't
So-
really make a difference. Whether I don't think it makes a difference as to whether they're in the cloud tops or in Fortress
That
Alley.
is the wrong thing. Hold on. Give me a second. Stupid.
Where the sticky note is?
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
I am going to draw a very piss poor flower.
That works.
Okay, so what landmarks do we want for forgers?
We need a dive bar.
We do. Ain't no bar like a Fortress Alley bar. Where?
I mean, so to be fair, there's probably dozens of dive bars.
Oh yeah.
But I think that just right here, actually, because there's a hole in the wall down here, it could be a literal hole in the wall bar right down here.
I love that. I love that. Do we want part of it to extend into?
No, I don't think we do for this one. I think we want to just be called the hole in the wall, and it's just right by the hole in the wall.
Perfect.
And it is the diviest, scummiest bar in the entirety of the city.
Well, yeah, because the people that were using the hole in the wall are probably not the most savory of characters.
Exactly.
I like it. Since we're talking about it being like raw material turned into something workable, I think maybe we need a butcher's or something like that.
See, I was thinking Aether Mine. The actual mining of the Aether.
You want the mining of the Aether to be down here?
I think so. I think that they don't know they can't do anything with the raw Aether. It's not processed yet. And I'm thinking maybe up here where this huge river is, and they will just barge it down and up the river.
Okay.
So right up here for where the Aether is mined.
Okay, so we've got a
Does
mine.
the river that's central to the valley, does it flow north-south?
So if you look, because if you look, it's a waterfall at the north where the Sun Quartz is on its way down from there. So it starts at the Sun Quartz and cuts its way down to the outlets.
Little blue aether dots to signify that it is an aether mine. There we go. Okay. Do we need any more landmarks for now.
I think we're good for now.
Okay, and now we get into the rust. The farmers. Let me pull up that. Let me scroll to the top. This is where your livestock and your ranchers and your farmers are. This is the area given in respect to the coalition. It's the people's ground.
Uncomplicated.
Uncomplicated. I like it. So the people are uncomplicated.
Because simple just sounds bad.
Yes.
Well, and uncomplicated really makes it, really does give the idea that it is really untangled from the politics of the top.
Right.
They're self-sufficient.
Yeah. Uncomplicated, self-sufficient. I'm thinking just tired.
Tired. Family
You
first.
wake up at
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Don't we already have the Cloud Tops as family
Mm-mm.
first?
Nope. I don't think so.
Family oriented, familial. That's what we have for the.
Oh,
Cloud
you're
Tops.
right. You're right. You're right. What were you gonna say, Glass?
I was just gonna make a joke. It's fine.
Oh.
I could see almost the opposite of the people in the rust are they work harder than anybody else in the city, and so they see themselves as superior because everybody else looks for ways to labor save, whereas they work nonstop and all they do is work with their hands, and all they do is work with the earth, and all they do is work with animals. And
Damn city slickers ain't worked a hard day in their lives.
exactly,
Yeah.
Yeah.
just not made in New York City.
I see them almost disconnected a bit in a way because, especially like sun quartz, moonlights, you see a lot of like ether tech and stuff. And I feel like the people out here at the Rust, they just don't have that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's like, if you go out to rural wherever here, there's still dial-up internet or no internet and stuff. And so
I think if you're really successful in the Rust servers, if you have anything Aethertech, it's like an Aethertech combine or something.
mhm.
Yeah, like tractors and shit.
I think it's more. I think the Aethertech is less connected. It's more industrial. I think it's
Yeah.
still out here because everything still runs off of Aether. That's how that works. So I think that it's more focused on like heavy machinery.
Yeah, I was speaking more about like creature comforts.
No, yes, very much so.
Okay, so what are the ones we have?
Uncomplicated.
Uncomplicated, self-sufficient, tired, and disconnected.
Yes.
I think that the superior is a really good start off for,
I think it's part of a belief.
yeah, I think that's a good belief.
Yeah, the belief is we are the hardest working people in the city. We are superior to everyone else.
I like that. Okay, so what are our rumors?
There's a pest of some kind that is getting into some type of vermin, either insect or some type of animal that is getting into granaries, basically into food stores, and multiplying.
Okay,
An invasive species.
That would be like a conflict, right? And like the rumor about it could be that it was planted there by somebody who's trying to disrupt the food chain.
I like the twist on that. What do you think, Craig?
That works for me.
Okay. So we've already got a rumor and a conflict. So we need 2 more rumors. to go along with that food shortage that we talked about, what if, because thinking about aether, this aether ore traveling along the river,
Place in the river.
it's, yeah, something in the water is either changing the livestock or maybe the crops are mutating, something's happening.
Don't let your children out to wander when the river's flowing.
Yes.
That plays into an idea that I had that I didn't say earlier.
That would be a
What?
good kind of conflict. Of course, that goes back into conflicts. That'd be a good conflict. What were you going to say, Glass? I'm sorry.
That plays into an idea I had when the mine was mentioned. There would be an aether processing plant somewhere higher up, right? So the water in the moon quartz and the sun quartz is nice, it's fresh. The aether processing plant spills its byproducts into the river, which go downstream to the other districts.
I like it. I like that it plays into that. And that would be something for the in-game narrative for sure. But I do like also the conflict of don't let your children outside when the river is blue.
Yeah.
Because they might grow an extra foot.
Maybe.
Maybe.
We still need 2 rumors. We have 2 conflicts. We still need 2 rumors.
What is the rumor that we currently have?
That the thing eating the grain stores was planted in order to disrupt the food chain.
There's a fortune teller in the Rust whose predictions about they are almost like a walking.
Oracle.
So all their predictions about weather and about where to send livestock to graze and things like that, like all of the predictions are coming true.
Ooh, I like it.
A living, breathing farmer's almanac.
I was just thinking that exact same thing.
Can I put a modification on the rumor? There's a wise woman out in the Rest that is always correct, and she's starting to mention things about war, or conflict, or violence.
That seems a little on the nose to me.
Is it?
That's just me.
I'm down for whatever. I'm down for whatever.
Maybe some sort of nebulous doom on the horizon.
Well, yes. Yes.
I like the nebulous doom. We're gonna get real sci-fi with this.
Oh.
Okay.
How about this? She started speaking of dark omens.
Eclipses.
I like it.
To kind of get, because it is a little on the nose. I do agree. So
Yeah,
to kind of get more
yeah.
towards the metaphor, eclipses.
That would freak out the sun quartz.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, where'd the sun go?
All their astrologers and their tarot card readers like scrambling in order to try and placate these wealthy assholes.
Okay, we need one more rumor. I'm really excited to get into play. Also, we need one more rumor.
Oh, I had one. There have been people have been claiming to have seen like figures that like humanoid figures walking about in the hills beyond the valley.
Okay, that's perfect because that gets us into the Outlands. Let's do landmarks. I like that rumor a lot. I like the weird. These random little sprinkles of rumors that have nothing to do with this political conflict.
Right.
So we have that. We have the two conflicts. And we have the belief. So now we're at the landmarks.
A general store. I don't want to trek all the way into the city every time I need to get some flour.
That's what the Forger's Alley's for.
Yeah, the people in the ruts don't want to trek into the city every time they got to buy something.
So how about this? It's not a store, it's a barge.
It's a...
That goes up and down. A barge that goes up and
Oh!
down the river.
I like it. Little
It's a
boat.
general store on water.
Yeah. Little boat. I like to think that it can't go past the cloud tops.
Going up, correct. I don't think I don't think you can actually make it past the market. I think its final port is right up here where the market is.
I like it. Okay. One more. I like to think...
An old abandoned grain silo.
I like that.
Cemetery.
Ooh, a cemetery is a good one. Right. So we can do... Where do we want the cemetery?
Off in that big open space to the left. Well, not the big open, like, hold on, I have a stick.
Your left or the map's left? Thank you.
Yeah.
So a graveyard. Okay. And then a silo. Where do we want an abandoned grain silo?
I think right down near the outlands.
Like right here? Oh. I'll get a laser pointer. Like right here? Or right in this bend?
I think right in that bend. I think it's on the other side of the bend though. I think it's on this side of it. And no one really goes this far south anymore.
So, speaking of the Outlands, we have a choice here with the Outlands. We can make them completely unknown. We know nothing about the people. We know nothing about anything. We can make them completely non-existent, like the land is still uninhabitable. But to go along with the rumor that Glass said about the people, and then the rumor up at the top that there's another valley, we can make it completely unknown and discover that in the narrative.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Anybody else?
Oh, it gives us something to look at and play.
Mimi, Leia?
Yeah, I mean, so I like the idea of having rumors and stories, almost like I think it'd be fun if during play we encounter stories or like have a time when we're all sharing like stories like, oh, when I was a kid, like, you know, Sasquatch was out. You know what I mean? Like that kind of nonsense, right? Like I think that would be fun to do in game.
I mean, yeah, that gives us a chance to do that later on. You know, just because remember, we can do that either as our own characters or if something happens and someone pulls up another NPC, we can always hear rumors as we're walking around the city doing things.
Yeah, this is
You know,
all
if you have the idea for it.
Yeah, this is a workable world. This is like a working document is the only thing I can think of.
It
But
is.
the map's going to change. The map's going to grow. The rumors are going to grow. The conflicts are going to grow and change.
Yeah.
So we're leaving the Outlands to the narrative?
I think so.
Making sure. I want to make sure I understood what Leia was saying.
That's what I was saying.
Okay. Mimi, anything?
Not at the moment. I kind of agree with yeah, about just sort of encountering things during play.
Perfect. Alrighty. Then that's our starting story. I forgot to record a outro for that, but that is where we're ending that episode. We have built our world where our characters will dance in, and next time we will actually be not building our characters, but introducing our characters, kind of showing and going through how to build a character and getting into some gameplay. So thanks so much for watching, and catch the next video. Bye.